Hello everybody and welcome to the brand new tiny house studio. Beware that this is very much a work in progress. Nothing is really in the place it should be, but this is my current rig right now. So let me show you first of all the most important piece of gear here. And you may be surprised. What is this? A USB hub. There is an immutable law of the universe, like the charge of the electron, who says you can never have too many ins and outs. And that's particularly true for USB ports. My computer actually has 3 of them, but that's not enough. So this little thing is not expensive. It has 10 USB ports. Those are 5 gigabit per second ports, which is relevant not for MIDI, but for audio. And it has its own power cable, so it doesn't draw power from the computer. And why that's important? Because many of the small gear here, they draw power from the USB. And if you have 5 or 10 things doing that, you don't want your computer to be powering those. If you have too many, it can fluctuate, generate strange things. So if you want to take a unsolicited advice, get a decent USB port, fast USB port with its own power cable. Going back here, let's go with the pedal board. This is my current pedal board, GT1000. Just recently replaced the GT100 I had before. It's a nice piece of gear. Right now I have the drums running through it. Maybe you can see for the drums nothing is on, so it's basically the dry sand. It has a few features better than the 100. Does a few things that you couldn't do before, and more important is it has a lot more ins and outs. Remember, you can never have too many of those. Actually, it has a couple of XLR which allows you to connect straight to the PA, and that made me consider, I'm now thinking of moving away from heads and cabinets to actual PA monitors, which I believe would be easier and better for most gigs. Close to the 1000, there is a Boss RC500. That's a looper. Both create looping, and this has 2 hours, memory of 2 hours, 98 slots. You can basically record and play back whatever you want, do and everything that you would expect. Works nice and is connected to the second pedal loop of the GT1000. The GT1000 has 2 pedal loops, which is incredibly useful, to be honest. So that's it. The other thing, the amps. This is the most recent addition. This is a Fender Rumble bass amp. Is 100 watts. I had to buy this in a hurry. I recently started playing with a band that has its own rehearsal place, and they don't have a bass amp, neither a decent PA, so I had to buy this from one week to the other. And what I really like, what really sold me this amp, is that it only weighs about 9 kilograms. You can lift it with a hand, a finger, and that's okay, no problem. If you compare that with my guitar amp, that head, that Laney Ironheart, is a 150 watt bulb head, and it weighs, I don't know if it is anything between 30 and 35 or something kilograms, so this is pretty heavy. The reason I bought, or one of the reasons I bought this cap this head, sorry, is it's a bulb head, and you know, bulb amplifiers, they need to be used with enough power to crank the bulbs, otherwise they don't sound well. And you cannot really play a bulb amp at low volume. So this head has a knob which allows you to go from the max, which is 150 watts, to 1. And that allows me, probably, never done it here, but probably I can play at that power in this room and, you know, don't get all the building running to my flat trying to throw me out of the place. It's not that loud. I mean, it's don't be mistaken. It's still loud, but it's not that much loud. That head is connected to a Marshall cabinet, a 4x10. This is an old thing, not very good, but it's enough for me. I also have a couple of relics there. Transistor amp, very small, and a transistor head from Marshall, which is, I believe, from the 80s or something like that. It's not that bad. Besides that, the drum set, the larger piece in the room, this is an Alesis Nitro mesh. I'm not a drum player, to be honest. I just do my best with it, but I like it a lot. I like the frame. I also like these are, you know, mesh pads, would give you a very natural feeling and bounce back of the sticks, things like that. The only thing I'm missing is the cymbals are only one sound, which means this one, for example, is the right, and for a right you will expect to have a different sound here, which is the right bell, and this is the actual right, but you cannot do that with this pad. Okay, and also the drum model doesn't allow that. There are some tricks, okay, but I miss it somehow. Okay, the only thing I really hated about the Alesis was the original hi-hat switch. It's that thing, it's a switch, never felt like the real one, it was horrible. So I brought a real hi-hat pedal with an extra pad, and this is my current hi-hat. And since I got this extra pad for the hi-hat, I'm using the original one as an extra crash. So of course I can configure this as I want, but my typical setup is like this. This is the hi-hat, a couple of crash, the ride, the snare, and the toms. And you know, never mentioned, but this is the drum, the kick, and it's very good. I mean, it has the feeling of a kick. It bounces back. I believe it is wide enough to change that for a double kick pedal. I'm not sure if I ever use any of those, but it is good. No complaints about it. Besides that, here's my bass. It's a beginner bass, good enough for me, sounds good, weighs very little, and it's kind of bright, but I like bright basses. Besides it, Telecaster, Fender Telecaster. You know, Telecasters are all, they all look very the same. They look nice, but very the same. And I like wear guitars, so I saw this and I really like it. It's a hollow body and it's blue. I love it. It sounds very Fender, very crisp, very bright. In the closet, waiting to be hung in the living room in the next days, there is a Jackson, there is a Ibanez, there is a Steinberger, and there is also a Fender acoustic. So those are still here. And what else? Yes, this is probably my newest toy. This is a machine controller, it's a MIDI controller, and I'm really surprised about it. I mean, it's not only that it allows you to easily try things when you are composing or arranging, or trying to get from an original idea into a real song. Also, it's a MIDI controller, you can do many things with it. And I'm using this is native instruments. I'm using the machine digital audio workstation, the machine DAW, and I have changed it because for ages I have been used Cubase, and now I'm switching to machine. I like it, but let me tell you, this is a rabbit hole for money. I have already got the full library from Native Instrument for this thing, and if I didn't have to buy the bass amp, I would have got a sample acoustic piano library, and I also have a few libraries in my mind that I will get as soon as I can. But if you go to Native Instrument, any sound, any instrument, any library is way over $100. So yes, probably my future income will somehow end up in their cash sooner or later. The other thing we have here is this is a Line 6 wireless receiver with the associated corresponding Line 6 wireless emitter. This allows you with a short cable to actually plug the bass, the guitar, whatever you want, without the hassle of a long cable. It works very well. I mean, I've been playing live and even stepping down and walking through the audience and things like that, and I have never lost sound or quality. So I'm very happy. It's not new, it's quite old, several years, but I like it a lot. Even when I'm rehearsing, it allows me to move more freely. There you have, I don't know what is the official name of these things. This is a Behringer UMC 202, I believe. Is basically an audio box for mix, for voice. So you have a couple of inputs in the front that accept XLR or jacks. It has several outputs on the back. Remember, you can never have too many. You can mix them. It also has Fat Power if you ever use a condenser mic. It has its own monitor and headphones on the front. I don't use those. And of course, it connects to the hub and to the computer. My mic right now is a Shure, pretty solid brand. I'm not a real singer. I mean, I have a horrible voice, but I do my best, and it works reasonably good. What else we have here? Not much said. Yeah, probably this is interesting. These are cheap headphones, but they are music headphones, so they don't have a mic, integrated mic. Originally, at the beginning, I used standard headphones, the same ones I use with my mobile or my computer, but I had trouble because those has an additional strip in the connector for the mic, and I never got the same volume, or didn't work for me. So I got, these are music ones. They only receive sound. There's no mic there. So what else? The only thing missing here is a Roland GR55, which is a guitar synthesizer, which should be boxed somewhere. Don't use it too much, to be honest. You can do amazing things with it. It sounds great, but it's based on a technology that actually translate the vibration of your guitar strings into MIDI and sends that to the synthesizer. And that technology is not rock solid. So you have to play in a very careful way, in a very particular way. Nothing like you play a normal guitar to get the right sound. So to be honest, I don't feel really comfortable getting that live. Too many ghost notes and strange things. But it's a nice toy. So I probably put it there somewhere. And that's mostly it. You know, trying to record some videos, things like that. But I guess this is my current rehearsal, recording, and playing place where I spend a significant amount of my spare time. So that's all for. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.